Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Othello and we get to hear from Desdemona today, so yay, female character. And all of a sudden we're in Act 3, Scene 3. Yesterday we were finishing up Act 2. Act 3, Scene 3, I believe we're back on the same, scene numbering between the folio and other versions, so we're just in Act 3, Scene 3. But we need to figure out what happened in Act 3, Scene 1 and Act 3, Scene 2 before we can get here. So the stuff that has been going on, Iago's plan is all coming together. He's trying to set up Cassio so that it looks like Cassio and Desdemona have been sleeping together because he wants to undo Othello and Cassio and Desdemona, because he thinks that Othello has been sleeping with his wife, and he kind of thinks that Desdemona is hot, and Desdemona should go to Rodrigo, and all this stuff. It's getting very convoluted, and the fact that they're in Cyprus to have fought a war is so secondary to everything that's going on right now, because they didn't have to fight the war because the Turkish army was destroyed in a tempest. So Act 3, Scene 1 starts out with there's some musicians playing some music for Othello that Cassio has hired. But a clown comes out to pay the musicians to go away because Othello is not enjoying the music. And then Cassio comes and asks the clown to get Emilia, who is Iago's wife. Emilia is like a handmaiden to Desdemona. So Cassio is going to ask Emilia to ask Desdemona to plead with Othello on behalf of Cassio. So the clown goes to get Emilia. Iago happens by. He says he'll go get Emilia. Emilia comes out and tells Cassio that Desdemona is already talking to Othello on his behalf. But she's like, it's may or may not be going so well, so yes, I'll try to get you some time with Desdemona also, and we'll try to arrange it so that you get to talk to her when Othello is not nearby, so that you can have a good conversation with her. Meanwhile, Iago is thinking, ha 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 ha, I'm gonna put Othello over here so he sees that conversation so that he gets suspicious, all that sort of thing. And that's Act 3, Scene 1. Act 3, Scene 2 is 6 lines long, and it is Othello giving some letters to Iago to be sent back to Vienna, I believe, and that's pretty much all that scene is. So at the top of Act 3, Scene 3, we have Desdemona telling Cassio that yes, she's going to plead to Othello on his behalf. She's like, trust me if you want to stick around so that you're right there when all this is going on. That's totally cool. Cassio's like, no, I don't really feel comfortable with that. And when Othello and Iago comes in, Cassio kind of slinks away. And Iago, seeing this, is like, and Othello's like, what? And Iago's like, oh, nothing. So planting the seeds of doubt and disrespect as he goes. So then Desdemona takes this opportunity to talk to Othello, and she's like, really, you should bring Cassio back into your good graces, because nobody is more faithful or loyal or loves you more than Cassio does. And Othello's like, yeah, but I'm going to look bad if I do that. That's bad for my reputation given what he did and how he acted. If I take him back, that's bad. And she's like, no, but come on, at least just talk to him. And they're like, was that him that just left? And she's like, yeah, but call him back. Just talk to him. It'll be a quick conversation. You guys can sort all this out and everybody can be friends again. And he's like, nah, not right now. And she's like, well, okay, for dinner tonight? And he's like, no, not at dinner tonight. I'm going out. I'm eating with some other people. And she says, why then tomorrow night, on Tuesday morn, on Tuesday noon or night, or Wednesday morn. I prithee name the time, but let it not exceed 3 days. In faith, he's penitent, and yet his trespass in our common reason, save that they say the wars must make example, out of her best, is not almost a fault to incur a private check. When shall he come? Tell me, Othello, I wonder in my soul what you would ask me that I should deny, or stand so mammering on. What? Michael Cassio, that came a wooing with you, and so many a time when I have spoke of you dispraisingly, hath taken your part, to have so much to do to bring him in? Trust me, I could do much. So basically she's like, all right, I see that you're waffling on this whole thing and you don't really want to talk to Cassio, but you need to talk to Cassio, and I'm asking you to talk to Cassio, and there is nothing that you could ask of me that I wouldn't do for you, so you should do this thing for me. So he caves, and he's like, all right, whenever you want to bring Cassio back to talk to me, bring Cassio back to talk to me. And she's like, great, thank you, I'm going to go get him. And she leaves, leaving Iago and Othello to have a nice little chat And Act 3, Scene 3 goes on for a little while Iago and Othello have a little chat, and we get to dig into some of that starting tomorrow. I will see you then. Mwah.